Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of live discussions. So today we're talking about John Wick Chapter 4. So let's get into it. Um so I watched this on Friday 2 days ago, and this was directed by Celeste who did the first three movies, and this is the fourth movie in the John Wick franchise. And this stars Keanu Reeves as John Wick alongside Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Lawrence Fishburne, Hiroyuki Sanada, Jamie Anderson, Lawrence Reddick in one of his final roles, Rina Sawayama, Scott Adkins, and Ian McShane. In the film, John Wick sets out to get his revenge of the Hightail and those who left him for dead. I'll quickly do my non-spoiler review. So, um, so, um, so John Wick. So like I saw John Wick 1, 2, and 3. They're read by Chad Stileski. I've seen all three of them, and so I was looking forward to the fourth one. Um, because because there was going to be two. Well, originally there was going to be two movies. Well, there was going to be two movies, and they're going to be shot back to back. But the reason they said they were going to do this was because they thought Keanu Reeves will age out the role, which made no sense because if you watch the full movie, you know he's pretty much the same. He barely even ages. So so they dropped that idea. So they were just like, let's focus on John Wick Chapter 4. So they did, and yeah. So I have to say I enjoyed it. I love the actions. I love the action in it. Um, I love the cinematography. I love the performances. Um, my only problem is I like the music by Tyler Bates, Joel, JJ Richard. My problem is I just wish this movie. I thought this movie was a bit too long. Um, and so uh, um so I've seen um I saw John Wick 1, 2, and 3, and I was really looking forward to this, and I enjoyed it. And I have to say I actually enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. I give this a 9 out of 10. It's that good. If you like John Wick, you will love this movie. And yeah, so now let's get into the spoilers. Um, I've already done a non-spoiler on my review. Sound Journey Music, check that out now. Let's get into the spoilers now. Here's one. So so let's start with it first. It starts off with John Wick working out. He's punching into this board, and then basically Lawrence Fishburne he basically goes all the way to the station to meet John Wick. Um, Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King. You probably know him. He was in John Wick. Lawrence Fishburne. He was in John Wick one. Was he? No, he was in 2, 3, and 4. And so yeah, he goes and he gets him a suit, and then they're basically we're introduced to the villain Bill Skarsgård as Marquis Vincent de Gramont, which is a powerful member of the High Table position, and he's whose position is challenged by John Wick. Bill Skarsgård, I think he's a good actor. I think he's probably the best out of the Skarsgårds. So yeah, you probably know him as Pennywise. He played Pennywise in the two It movies, the remakes, the 27 the first It Chapter 2, and I thought he was good as Pennywise, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the prequel. Um, so yeah, he's the villain, and then we're introduced to Don Yen, who plays Kane, who's he's a assassin, a blind assassin of the High Table. We're introduced to Ian McShane, uh, Winslow Scott, which he's in all four of the he's in all four of the movies, and yeah, Lance Reddick is in this. This is one of Lance Reddick's last movie. Well, this isn't. He has a couple of. If you don't know Lance Reddick, he passed away last week. So this was one of his last movies, and so he died. So then this movie was. I thought there'd be a dedication with him, but there wasn't because I think the reason there wasn't is because it was just a week, so there was no way they could have fit it in a week. I think in private screenings, I saw it on Twitter that it was dedicated. I did not have that. Lawrence Reddick, he was in the first four movies, and then he was also in he was going to be in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. He's on mine. So Lawrence Reddick, it's such a shame he went. I thought he was 60, and yeah, he was in all of them. He played Sharon in 1, 2, and 3. He does show up in this. He's only briefly there, and then he gets killed by Bill Skarsgård. He basically shoots him at the end. So it's a small role he has in this movie. And then so yeah, so after that happens, we meet John Wick. So then we meet Shimazu Koji, the manager of the Oksawa Continental Hotel, and an old friend of John Wick, Hari Yuki Sonda. He was in Rush Hour 3. I think he was in Mortal Kombat as well. But so yeah. I thought he was good in the movie. He's not in the movie that much. He's only in I think he's in like one scene of the movie, and then he died, and then yeah, he has a daughter who's the daughter's name. The daughter was Akira. She's played by Rina Sawayama, which I've never heard of. This is her first movie. She was only in TV, so she was only pretty much herself in talk shows. This was her first appearance in a movie. I'm not sure she was good. She's not in it that much, but yeah, she kind of just when we first see her, she just does not like John Wick. She was just basically like, "Oh, what's he doing here?" And then he dies, and then he dies, and then we see the daughter who basically goes. She goes to the train station, and then she asks John Wick to kill the person who killed his father, and so he does that, and then so after that we meet him we meet Rena we meet Scott Adkins, who plays Killer, he was one of the villains. Kansi Brown as Harbinger, and we have Natalia Tina as Kalia, John Wick's adoptive sister. Then we have Marco Zarob, portrays Chidi as a villain. George Garriott appears as Elder, the man above the high table, replacing Sadito Henry from John Wick 3. And also we have so yeah, so the movie starts with so the movie starts with John Wick looking for he meets Katia, who basically he basically hangs him. She basically hangs him, and like for why he came back and stuff, and he said that he'll kill the person who killed his father, which that was the Scott Adkins character Killer, which he wears a fat, he's an overweight I don't want to say fat, I'll say he's an overweight villain, which you've probably seen him in the posters. And then basically they say that she has to kill him and then probably show proof that he did it. So he goes, he meets, so that he goes and he meets Killer. He goes to this party, and then he pretty much kills like pretty much everything. He kills Killer. So basically, he gets thrown out the stairs. Basically, Killer, and then Killer dies because he falls from the stairs, and he gets hit on the head by the stairs, and then he pretty much dies. And then John Wick basically takes one of his gold teeth, and he gives it to Katia, and then basically they have crests on their arm. There's this kind of this heat, this hot like metal thing, and then they both put it their hands on both sides, and then they basically get a crest. And then when that's done, they pretty much it's pretty much John Wick looking for he's looking for Marcus, and basically Marcus was um and basically you have I forgot Shamir Anderson. He plays Tracker Mr. Nobody, which is basically a bounty hunter who's pursuing Wick. If you don't know him, he plays Trevante Cole in Invasion, and then he played U.S. Deputy Marshal Xavier Doles in Winona Earp, um, which I actually liked. Winona Earp, he was in that, and then sadly his character passed away. His character died in Winona Earp in season 3. So season 4 he does not show up, and yeah, um, so basically he has a dog, and he's trying to, it's a bounty hunter trying to look for John Wick. And then there's this whole like, so basically there's this thing Marcus set up. This is basically this ransom, this bounty hunt that basically whoever finds John Wick and kills him, they get $25 million, and so many people go looking for him around Paris. The movie primarily takes place in Paris, and then basically um what's his name? Shamir Anderson. Basically, Mr. Nobody. He basically calls Marcus and says, "Oh, that he's looking for John Wick, and he says he tries to double the money. So then maybe the money goes up to 48 million, and then they do that, and then basically, so it's basically this whole chase. They're looking for John Wick. They go to is it Times Square, whatever. Um, it what's that place? Um, um, so they basically go to several locations, and they try to kill John Wick, and they pretty much fail most of the time, and then they go in the mansion, and then that's where this whole thing happens, and then basically John Wick meets Mister Nobody, and then basically and they do all this while John Wick is trying to get to the high table. And obviously he gets shot, and then he falls down the. Well, he doesn't get shot. He gets thrown down the stairs, and then he goes back up this. And then he meets Kane. He meets Kane, and they both go up the stairs, and they both go to the high table, and then there's this duel between Kane and John Wick. Clancy Brown is there. Mister Nobody's there, and Winston Scott is there, and the Bowery King is there, and basically they have these guns, and they walk 30 yards, and they have to try and kill each other, which they do twice, and then they do it a third time, and basically Kane shoots, and then basically Marcus is there. And then basically they trick Marcus, and they said that he didn't shoot the gun, and then John Wick shoots Marcus, and he dies instantly. And then um so John Wick, he gets hit in the leg, he gets hit in the leg, he gets hit in the body's, I think, the abdomen area, and then he also gets hit in the shoulder, and then basically that's that. And then Kane pretty much meets him, and then he goes that so they're basically at this building, and he goes down the stairs, and then he basically stands on the stairs, and then there's flashbacks of his wife Helen from played by Bridget Monahan, which she was in the first three movies. Um, his late wife Helen, and then basically, and basically, um, and then basically he collapsed on the stairs in front of the church. And then some time later, Winston and Bulwer they bid farewell to John, having ostensibly buried him. So basically John Wick dies at the end, and then they go to a cemetery, and then basically he's buried next to his wife. So then it basically says John Wick, loving husband, and then it says Helen Wick, loving wife, and then Barry King says he never thought he'll see this day, and then Winston, and then basically Barry King's with his dogs, and then his dog, and then they basically leave the cemetery. And that's pretty much it. And then there's a post-credit scene at the end, so you have to stay to the post-credit scene. Kane comes home to reunite with his daughter, but he's approached by Akira. Akira pretty much shows up, and she's holding a small knife, a small pocket knife, and then the movie ends. So yeah, so that's where it ends. So that's John Wick Chapter 4. I actually enjoyed it. Had a good time with that. For the action was good. I like the villain. I like the music, and yeah, Keanu Reeves was great in this movie. And yeah, so that is John Wick Chapter 4. If you like the first three movies, I highly recommend you check this one out. This one's a really good one. And yeah, so I give it a 9 out of 10. It was a great movie. I'd say it's probably a good ending to the John Wick right now, but we are getting a John Wick Chapter 5, which we're going to film back to back. I don't know if we'll get a 5. I don't know how they'll do 5, because John Wick is, in this Keanu Reeves, like, I don't know. I think Keanu Reeves might come back, but I don't know if it'll be a prequel or if it will be a sequel. I think it'll be a sequel. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And also we're getting Ballerina, which that one's a spin-off. It's a spin-off starring Ana de Armas, which I don't know who's the actress from the first one. Yeah, so after this, Chad Celeste said he was going to take a break from the John Wick franchise, so we are getting Ballerina, directed by Les Wiseman, and this is going to have Ana de Armas playing Ballerina, who pretty much so yeah, Ballerina so she was played by Unity Fallon in the third movie. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that movie. I don't know when it comes out. I think it comes out in 2024. And it's been confirmed that Ian McShane will return. Lance Reddick will return, and Keanu Reeves, they will return. I think Lance, I don't know if he filmed some scenes, so he will be in this movie. And yeah, so again, Ballerina, and then after that, I think we have John Wick 5. And I want to see a crossover between with Atomic Blonde. They said they were going to do Atomic Blonde and John Wick crossover film. So that'll be Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron, which I actually like Atomic Blonde. So I hope we get a crossover. I think maybe after John Wick 5 we get it, but I wouldn't mind if we get it before John Wick 5. But yeah, so that's it. I want to give it a 9 out of 10. So that's it with today's episode of Live Discussions. And next week I will be doing one on Dungeons and Dragons. So stay tuned for that. I already set up it. It will be coming out Sunday next week, so that'll be April 2nd. I will be watching it on the 31st, and then my review will go on the 1st of April. And yeah, so that's it with today's video. So guys, watch my videos for my next thing. Bye.